So you're thinking about a move to the Middle East. Well, you're looking at one of the fastest growing, most dynamic real estate markets on the entire planet. And that means you've got a huge decision on your plate, one that's going to shape your finances and your lifestyle for years. The big question, should you rent or should you buy? Let's get into it.
I mean, just look at this. Cities like Riyadh are, well, they're literally building the future right before our eyes, at a speed that is just mind-blowing. This isn't just about shiny new buildings. It's a whole new vision for a new way of life. And that's exactly why so many people, maybe you, are feeling that pull to be a part of it.
So of course, you're asking yourself, okay, where do I fit in on all this? Because finding a place to live, it's so much more than just four walls and a roof, right? It's a massive financial commitment and a huge lifestyle choice. So which path is the right one for you? Okay, before we dive into all the spreadsheets and the numbers, the entire conversation really boils down to one simple question. You have to ask yourself first, how long are you planning to stay? Because believe me, whether it's a 2-year contract or you're planting roots for the long haul, that one little detail changes everything.
All right, let's start with the path that gives you the most freedom. This is what we call the flexibility play, making the case for renting.
This slide, right here, is basically the whole ballgame. On one hand, renting is all about freedom. You've got way lower upfront costs and you can pick up and move pretty easily. Buying, though, that's about putting down roots. It's about stability, building an asset, and really weaving yourself into the fabric of a community. It's a massive trade-off, and both sides have some pretty serious financial consequences. And hey, this isn't just about expats. Check out this quote from Knight Frank. It points out that even younger Saudis and families just starting out are choosing to rent because they value that flexibility as their careers take off. And all this demand, it's actually making the quality of rental properties go way up.
So let's break down the renter's edge, right? First, your initial financial hit is much, much lower. You get the freedom to test drive different neighborhoods, maybe even different cities, without being locked down. You totally sidestep the risk and the stress of a housing market dip. Bottom line, if you think you'll be there for less than 3 years, renting is, 9 times out of 10, going to be your smartest financial play.
Okay, but what if you're not just passing through? What if you see yourself there for the long haul? Let's flip the script and talk about planting deeper roots and the real motivations to own a home. Okay, now this is where things get really, really interesting because we're about to bust a huge myth. You'd probably assume the number one reason people buy property is for financial return, right? To flip it, to make money. But look at this. The top reason people are buying in Saudi Arabia is to invest in Vision 2030. They are literally buying into the country's future. The actual property value going up, that's way down the list.
And this quote from the Knight Frank report just nails it. It's not just a financial transaction, it's a personal stake in this massive long-term vision. People want to feel like they're part of something big, and owning a piece of the land gives them a much deeper, more tangible connection.
All right, so you're sold on the vision. You're ready to plant some roots. Love it. Now for the tough part, the reality check. What's your budget, and what can you actually get for your money? Let's actually talk about real numbers here. We all see the headlines about these unbelievable multi-million-dollar penthouses, but that's not the reality for most buyers. Because a whopping 63% of prospective international buyers, their budget is under $1 million US. This isn't just a market for the ultra-wealthy, it's being driven by regular people. Think of it like a price ladder. This slide kind of breaks down the rungs. At the first step, around $200,000 can be your entry point to get real estate residency in a place like Qatar. That $500,000 mark, that's a really common budget for a lot of mid-market buyers. But if you're dreaming about getting into one of those huge, iconic giga projects, you're typically going to need at least $1 million just to get your foot in the door. And here it is. This is the big disconnect, the affordability gap that so many buyers run into. The dream, for nearly 70% of people, is a beautiful villa with a bit of space. But the reality is, most of those people have a budget under $1 million, and that's often where the prices for those villas begin. It's a tough gap you've got to be realistic about. But you know, it's not just about the price tag anymore. There's this huge shift happening in what people are actually looking for in a home. It's not just about the square footage, it's about the quality of life you get inside those walls. I mean, check this out. Over 70% of buyers are saying things like wellness features and access to green space are very important. This isn't some niche trend, folks. This is becoming the new standard. People don't just want a place to live. They want a place to live well.
So what in the world is a wellness home? What does that even mean? Well, we're talking about tangible things you can actually feel and experience. Stuff like advanced air filters, so you're breathing cleaner air, purified water right from the tap, and even better soundproofing for acoustic comfort. You know, peace and quiet. These things make a real difference, day in and day out.
And look, all of this ties back to living smarter and more sustainably. The modern home wish list includes things like water-efficient fixtures, top-notch ventilation, smart thermostats to manage energy, and even renewable energy options. And let's be real, it's not just about being green, it's about saving some green. We're talking about your money. These features can seriously lower your bills over the long run.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground. Flexibility, your personal motivation, the budget reality check, and the whole lifestyle factor. Now, let's pull it all together into a simple checklist to help you make the final call.
Okay, this right here, this is your cheat sheet. Let's make it simple. If your stay is short-term, less than 3 years, and your top priority is flexibility and exploring, then renting a quality place is absolutely the smart move. If you're looking at 5 years or more, and you want stability and a certain lifestyle, buying is a great way to go as long as you line up your dreams with your budget. And if your focus is on building equity and truly putting down roots, while buying is the ultimate investment in that long-term vision.
So what's your story going to be? Are you in the Middle East to write a fascinating short story? Or are you starting the first chapter of a brand new novel? Only you can answer that. But the good news is, now you have the tools to figure it out and make the right choice for your future.